Morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. My name is Zamel Solanki, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joining each and every one of you again on another episode this morning. And if you are watching, give me a like, give me a heart, because as you know, that energy exchange is what we're all about on this awesome Wednesday morning. And if you haven't yet checked out the Limitless Network is a group of like-minded people who value health in any way, shape, or form. And we come from a diverse array of backgrounds, and not all of us own businesses. Some support other businesses and are entrepreneurial in their own spirit. But one thing in common is that we all value health for ourselves and for those around us. So if you haven't joined yet, definitely go and check that out. And the details are in the description box below. So go and hit that up as well. So let's jump into it this morning. And if you haven't gotten your beverage or whatever, go and grab that now. Because we're about to jump into it. Go grab your tea, your coffee, your bowl of cereal, whatever that might look like for you. So today, a couple of special days. If you're watching from Australia and you're into the cricket, well, of course, the Australian summer is usually kicked off by the Ashes cricket tour, and that commences in Brisbane today. So if you haven't heard about that or you are into cricket, whichever team you're supporting, all the very best, because I know that people are on both sides of the coin who watch this. So I won't play favorites, but go Australia. So definitely enjoy the cricket. But what I wanted to do today was, I guess, touch on and reflect on a little bit of yesterday's topic. So check-in versus check-up. And today, if you haven't known, it's not only the start of the Ashes tour, but on December the 8th, it's actually pretend to be a time traveler day. Now, we're not going to delve deep into pretend to be a time traveler day today. If you are interested, go and check that out. Go and Google it. I had to Google it because, just to find out a little bit more information about it, because it's quite an interesting topic. But obviously, we've seen a lot of sci-fi movies. Back to the Future is an example of that, where time travel obviously allows us to explore different worlds and different realities. Now, that isn't a reality for us at this point in time. Stephen Hawking has come out and said, well, it is possible, but impractical. And like any sort of theoretical realm of science, anything, I guess, is kind of possible, isn't it? So up until that date sort of comes about and we're able to time travel, how do we do that? How do we look back and reflect on what's happened in the past, but then plan and cater for the future? And we covered off check-in versus check-up yesterday, and we've spoken about the debrief process before, but when are you using this debrief process, and where does the power lie in us to be able to reflect on what has happened and help us guide our decisions for the future? Well, the debrief process is integral to that. It's probably central to that, but also setting up the psychological frame, the psychological safety to have that open and honest conversation, where that debrief process doesn't become a blame fest, an opportunity to stack on and pile on the leader who might be running the debrief process. To create a nameless and blameless environment within the debrief process is critical, because how often is your team, when you're seeking feedback or seeking to find out opportunities for growth, how often are they blaming others? How often are they looking to an external source to validate their beliefs or to validate the outcomes, whether good, well, most likely, whether bad, really? If it was good, are they then taking it all on themselves? But if it is negative, are they looking externally and going, well, it was this reason, that it was, that person's fault. It was your fault, Mr. Leader or Mrs. Leader or Miss Leader. Whatever it might be, whatever it might be, where is this showing up, and how is it showing up by your team, by your customers, by your patients, by your community? What accountability are they taking for what actions have transpired and the outcomes of them? And when you look at, I guess the debrief process, and now the debrief process allows us to dig deep and understand what we were trying to achieve. Did we achieve it or didn't we achieve it? Then we're asking why. Why did we get the outcome in the way that we did? What actually happened? And we look at Toyota's principle that was implemented in Toyota, which is the 5 whys. And by digging deep to the root cause of the issue, we're able then to really identify and respond to that root cause. And that root cause of maybe not an issue, but an opportunity allows us to further grow and develop and plan for the future. So while it is pretend to be a time traveler day to day, I would argue that you have the opportunity already to write your future in advance. By taking on board the lessons and the knowledge and the know-how from your past experiences and leveraging those opportunities, leveraging those lessons into planning out your future. Now, we talk a lot about, and we've spoken a lot about purpose and mission. Purpose being our why we're around for the next 100 years, why our, I guess why our presence on this earth, or why we are doing, will be everlasting and ever enduring long after we leave this planet. And our mission, our 5-year goal, or 3 to 5 year goal, whatever you want to call it, is essentially a little part that serves that purpose. And when we break that down, well, we know that there's 7 to 11,000 tasks in between today and reaching that 3 to 5 year goal. So how do we plan for that in advance? How do we write that future? If that's our goal, if that's our future, if we could look at a crystal ball and go and visualize that, and that is our future, well, how are we not just pretending to be a time traveler? How does each action that we do today help us to hit that goal? And it starts with knowing what that goal is, but also leveraging the lessons that we have, I guess, encountered along the way. And the debrief process is an awesome resource to do that. And so I get asked a lot, like, when do we debrief? When do we, check in? When do we do this sort of stuff? And my response is as often as you can. As often as you can. If something didn't go right, if a customer comes in or a patient comes in and there's a complaint, opportunity for debrief. If a patient customer comes in and sings praises, opportunity for debrief. Because at the end of the day, we want to recognize what we're doing amazingly and then leverage what we're doing amazingly to make it even more amazing. And we want to recognize those opportunities for growth when things don't go right, and then work out a way in which that we can do things a little bit differently so that we get a better outcome next time. And so my question to you today is, instead of pretending to be a time traveler, how are you actually planning and foreseeing your future right now? How are you planning for that future? It doesn't happen overnight. And this is why, we've created the Limitless Network. There's no magic pill. There's no magic pill to unlock the limitless possibilities. If you haven't seen that movie yet with Bradley Cooper, go and see it. Go and see it, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Because at the end of the movie, you'd be like, oh my God, how good would it be to have that pill? But there is no pill. So at the end of the day, what are we doing now within our own circles of influence, our own control, to enable us to plan out our future? So instead of pretending, how are we writing our future in advance? Now, of course, we can't predict, the absolute certainty of our future, of course, but we can definitely put steps in place to help greatly increase the probability of that happening. So my question for you today is, what one thing will you do today to change the trajectory for your tomorrow and for your tomorrow's tomorrow? What one thing will you do today? So that's it from me today. Have an absolutely amazing day. Have an absolutely amazing day. And food for thought. Food for thought. Because even though it's pretend to be a time traveler day, I believe that, we've got all the opportunity right now to set some goals, to create a vision, and start working towards that. So rather than waiting for this time machine that we know probably isn't going to come in our lifetime. So if you haven't as well joined the Limitless Network, check out the details in the description box below, because as I mentioned at the start of the video, it's a great community that we're working to build up. And I'd love to see you there. But that's it from me today. Have an absolutely amazing day. And I look forward to catching up with you again on another episode of Tea with Z tomorrow. And yeah, all the best.